Hi, I'm Bob Nystrom.
Hi, this is Bo Dietl.
Hey, this is Rich Big Daddy Salgado.
Hi, this is Doc Goodney, and you're watching Sports Biz.
Sports Biz.
Sports Biz with LD.
Sports fans, this is Sports Biz with LD.
Welcome to Sports Biz with LD. I'm your host, Larry Davis. Like every show, we're sponsored by the Rampart Insurance Group. You can go to rampartinsurancegroup.com. You can check me out. You can like me on Facebook, sportsbizwithld.com. You can tweet me, sportsbizwithld.com. And you can go on my website, sportsbizwithld.com. And I got to tell you, I'm on the website a lot. I think David's doing a great job. You should go on it, check it out. It's unbelievable. Win tickets, memorabilia. You need an athlete for an event. A lot of charity events I'm involved with are there. And speaking of charity, I have a good friend of mine from the Big Daddy Golf Classic as my co-host, Rich Big Daddy Salgado.
Hey, Larry, thanks for having me.
My pleasure to have you. And before we get into all the good stuff with you, we have a special guest on the line. This gentleman played 18 years in the NHL. I mean, it's not like other sports, Rich, where guys can play 18 years, but they hang out on the bench. In hockey, they play. Okay? Had a 70-goal season. Okay? Had 475 goals in his career. Let's stop with all the accolades. Bernie Nicholls, welcome to Sports Biz with LD. Bernie, how you doing? I think we lost him. So, we will get him back on the show. Let's talk about Rich Big Daddy Salgado, Coastal Advisors, LLC. Talk to us a little bit about your business and how it all started.
Well, we're an insurance consulting firm, and
Right.
It's a niche market, I guess, with our insurance practice because it has a lot of sports and entertainment and media clientele. And I've been doing this now 21 years.
21 years, so you have a lot of athlete clientele. How'd you get into that world? I know that you played football in Maryland. Tell us a little about that.
You know what? It was a thing. I grew up as a kid, and I knew guys that were, let's say, at the bottom of the food chain, and then all of a sudden you grow as they grow, and all of a sudden one guy's a vice president of a team, another guy's running NFL properties, another guy, and you just kind of stay in tune with all those people. And then through that and my ex-teammates that went on to the NFL, like Neil O'Donnell, and just intros and just networking.
So that way you built that base and you have a lot of different clients that are athletes. But listen, everyone can be your client. It's not just the athlete guys.
I got my, everybody knows Umberto's, my pizza guy, he's a client. And even my mailman, when I used to live in my old neighborhood, he became a client because he was nosy. He wanted to know why I had all this sports stuff and shirts, and he asked me, he goes, do you work at a sporting goods store or something? And I was like, no, I'm actually in the insurance business. And he goes, well, my wife was just telling me about this, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, okay, let's sit down and talk. So.
Do we have Bernie on the line? Is that what we got? Let's see if we can get Bernie on. Bernie, you there?
I am.
Oh, sorry about that. Did you hang up on me, Bernie, or did I hang up on you?
I don't know. You were gone. You were just about to start, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear a thing.
Well, I'm glad that you're on. Bernie, phenomenal career, 18 years in the NHL. You played for the Kings, the Rangers, the Oilers, the Devils, the Blackhawks, the Sharks. Tell us how your career started, and again, 18 years in the NHL. How were you able to maintain yourself for so many years?
Well, I think that's probably my best asset was my conditioning. It just seemed like I was gifted that way, but just having the opportunity to play in the NHL and play that long, I wanted to play longer. It ended up that something happened in San Jose that I got let go instead of Bill Sutter's brother. I wanted to play till I was 40. I still think I could have, but for the most part, I stayed fairly healthy. I got the normal broken bones like everybody else, but my knees were good, my back was good, so I was fortunate to last a long time.
Darryl Sutter, who is the head coach of the LA Kings?
Yeah, I had to deal with Dean Lombardi at the time when he signed me, I was gonna, I was the number one centerman, and they drafted Patrick Marleau and some other young kids, and they said, once Patrick, it's time for him to take over, then you'll take the lesser role, which was great, right? And I could work with the kids. I played a third, fourth line. When that time came, Daryl was there, and he had his brother Ronnie Sutter there. So, I'm going to take my brother too, but it was up to Dean Lombardi at the time to say, no, the best person for that job is me. And he had told me, he apologized to me later, they should have, but, he just didn't stand up to Daryl when she was supposed to, but, it was fine in the end.
Just like in sports and everything in life, it's all who you know. I have Lou Salgado, who you know, his brother Rich, sitting in with me. Big Rich, Big Daddy, you know him?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, Bernie, how are you, man? It's been a lot of years since we've seen each other. So.
And he was just saying, Bernie, it's all who you know, buddy, just like with you in hockey. So you played for the Kings, you played for the Rangers. Tell us about what it was like playing with the Kings, and then we'll get to your Ranger career as well.
Oh, it was amazing. No matter where you get drafted, your first team, it was obviously a thrill for me to have the opportunity to play in the NHL. I went to LA, when I get drafted, from here, I had no idea LA had a team, it was kind of like that, but once I got there and playing in California was amazing. Your first few years was kind of a little rough, we had Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, Charlie Simmer, but then obviously we got Wayne Gretzky, kind of turned LA upside down as far as the hockey world goes, and it was amazing playing with Wayne, and, seeing, when I first got there, we probably had 12,000 dedicated, true Kings fans. Now you got thousands of them, and, that's a lot of thanks to Wayne and Bruce McDowell.
Well, you talk about the great one, Wayne Gretzky. What was it about him, Bernie? I mean, he is the greatest hockey player of all time. He could be on Mount Rushmore of athletes. He was so much better than everyone else in hockey. I mean, I recall he had a 92-goal year, almost 200 points, or he had 200 points in his career. Bernie, what made him the great one?
Yeah, I think he had like 200, either 12 or 215.
It's crazy.
But the thing is, 92 goals, that's unheard of. I don't know if a guy today can score 92 goals in a soccer net, But it was he was amazing. His vision for the ice, I think his goal scorer, he understood goalies' weaknesses. He didn't shoot the puck over the arc. His hot shot, you can catch with your bare hand.
Really?
He wasn't overly fast. I think he weighed 155 pounds when he first started. So, I always thought he was a small man who dominated a large man sport. He just, he's just so gifted. He held the puck so well. He seen the ice so well. He was amazing to watch. I was fortunate to watch him a lot when he played in Edmonton. But then to play with him was just spectacular.
And then you said you had a 70-goal year. I mean, how did that happen? I mean, I'm not saying you're not great, but 70 goals in a year, Bernie, is at a level almost close to the great one, right? What happened that year?
Well, he was a big part of it, obviously. I didn't play with Wayne on a line. We played in the power play together. We actually killed penalties together. I had 8 short-handed goals. I played with Dave Taylor and Luke Robitaille, two great hockey players. But, and I've said this different times, great players bring the best out of everybody. And Wayne brought the best out of our team, obviously, but he really brought the best out of me. And a lot of people don't know this, but I spent every day with Wayne. Every road trip, Wayne took me out to dinner. And, lunchtime, I tell everybody I kick this with them because we have a McDonald's about 300 yards up from our practice rank. And every day, Wayne said, "Bert, let's go to lunch," and he went to McDonald's. I can't stand McDonald's, I used to eat it, but I go with him. Wayne says, "Let's go to lunch," we go to lunch, and I don't care where it is.
Yeah, why not? He's the great one. So then you come to the Rangers. Tell us the experience with the Rangers. And I don't know if people realize this, but you were on the Devils when the Rangers won in '94, right?
Yeah, that was maybe my favorite series I've ever played in, even though we did lose. I don't know, 7 games, double overtime. I think 3 or 4 of the games went into overtime. It was 2 close games. It was an amazing series, playing in New York and New Jersey. Unfortunately, I came up the wrong end of the stick there, but it was just a tremendous series.
Well, let's talk about the finals now. You have the LA Kings, New York Rangers. Tell us what you saw in the first game with the overtime win with the Kings at home, and then we got to get a prediction from you, Bernie. You're going to have to come up with who you think's going to win.
Well, I think I'm going to hurt, because this, for the most part, a lot of people in New York to listen to this. I think I'm going to hurt them when I say this, but, to me, I really thought that the first game was the game that New York had to win. They had to steal a game, and it looked like it at first, because I knew coming off that long series, LA would be, that first game of a new series is tough, and it was such an emotional high against Chicago. It was a team that they've battled with for the last 2 years. So they were obviously a little fatigued there. It took them a little while to get their legs. And, I said that the first period, Rangers could have been up 3 or 4-0.
You're right.
But the third period, when the Kings, when they finally got their legs, they could have scored 5. Hank played unbelievable, and putting it into overtime. And to me, it was a chance for them to get a win. I can't see it. I think the next game, LA will be even so much better than they were, kind of the way they finished. I'm sorry to say it, because I love New York. I love the fans in New York. They treated me so well. Everybody did there. I can't see it going more than 5 games. I really wish it would. I'd love to see New York do well, but I can't see it.
Bernie, I really appreciate your time. We're going to have you back on again. We want to know what's going on with you in your world. Before I let you go, how do people follow you? How do people get in touch with you? All the fans out there who want to talk to you.
Well, I'm on Twitter at Bernie Nicholls 9. I'm on Facebook too. I think it's just Bernie Nicholls, but I love chatting on Twitter with the fans. I always respond. Like I said, I've always been really excited to communicate with all fans from every place I've played. Like I said, New York are great fans. I really appreciate them. And so I'm on Twitter. If you want to follow me and chat hockey, look me up and we'll talk.
Bernie, thanks for calling the Sports Biz with LD. Afterwards, after the series, we'll get you on again. And hopefully you're going to be coming to the Big Daddy Golf Classic here in New York, June 23rd. I mean, everyone else will be there, Bernie, so you'll be the only one not there.
There you go. Sounds good.
All right, Bernie, thanks again. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, guys.
You don't realize, Bernie Nicholls playing with Gretzky. And then comes to the Rangers. Look what he said. Just following around the great ones. The greatness rubs off on people, Rich. And, listen, you're around a lot of athletes. They all say that to us, about that. Hang out with those kind of guys. And like he's saying, he's going to lunch with them every day. Why not?
Good guy to go to lunch with.
Right, good guy to go to lunch with. Amazing how he said that he only weighed 155 pounds.
Yeah, he wasn't he's still not a big guy.
Right.
Back then. But he also, when he was in Edmonton, he had Semenko that made sure that no one touched him. So that's why it didn't matter if he was 155 or 255. The other guy was bigger than everybody on the ice. So, yeah, it's amazing. I'm a little biased, though, when it comes to saying the greatest hockey player because my guy is Mario. So, think about a guy that had his years cut short due to cancer. And the back. And the back. If he would have missed, if he would have played. And he was a guy that played on teams where he was the guy.
Right.
In the beginning. So,
Well, he did have Yaga.
But that was towards later on.
Right.
When they had they went back to back where they were loaded. And in the beginning, though, it was him. He was the guy that at 18 saved the city, and now he owns a team. So.
Now he owns a team, right? Like the American dream.
Exactly.
Well, it's interesting you say that because you're right. If he was able to not be injured and have the cancer, his numbers would have been up there with Gretzky. And that's one of the things I think in sports that people don't talk about, the longevity of guys. People think guys just hang on, but using Bernie as an example.
That's an exception
18
to the rule.
years, yeah.
It's an exception to the rule.
People don't want to talk about that. The guys who continue to play and play well at a high level. You could talk about the NBA, and I'm not dissing the guys, or Major League Baseball. You have guys that end up, they're on the bench, but they're not playing. In hockey, you're playing.
Yeah, hockey you're playing and you're getting whipped and kicked and sticked and bitten and everything else. Pucks are hitting you, and I have the most respect for those guys, especially playoff time, because you know what? That's like you're playing for your life, and especially the guys that are in this round. It's a dream to win the cup. The Rangers haven't done it in 20 years. LA's got a taste of it 2 years ago, so they know what it feels like. So I think it's going to go more than 5, and I'm biased because my guy's in the net in the blue jersey, so I'm cheering for him.
As you should. We're here in New York, and everyone loves the King.
Yeah.
We're sitting here with Richard Big Daddy Salgado, Big Daddy Golf Classic, June 23rd at Oheka Castle. This part of the show I call off my chest, things that are on my mind. As Rich, you and I talk all the time, so I always got plenty of things that are on my mind. So let's get right to it.
Sure.
After we had Bernie on, which was a great guest. Stanley Cup Finals we talked about. Do you realize the ticket prices that are going on for these games to see the Rangers?
Yes, I do.
Have you heard?
I've been getting calls left and right. I think, you know what, I won't even say I think. I know that I could have gotten people's Super Bowl tickets for less money.
And probably got them on the field.
Yeah, because, you've got 85,000 in a football stadium, and in the Garden, what is it, 18 or 17?
Well, the Garden will be those 2 games, and the 2 games that are
Yeah.
guaranteed in the next, two
Yeah.
after the next game Saturday night. So you're right. You got 18, got 36,000 tickets to sell. Hot ticket. Rangers have not been in the Stanley Cup Finals in 20 years. I mean, that's why it's such a hot ticket. And, the hockey fans, they really are some of the most loyal fans. People don't realize, even though it's the number 4 sport, the loyalty level in hockey, as you know, because you're a big hockey fan, it is really crazy.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? The Ranger fans are great. It's not, unfortunately, we don't have that out here in Long Island, nor do we have it in New Jersey, because
Right.
It's a struggle to get people to go to games, where the Garden, regardless, it's always sold out.
Right. Even if
people
stink. Right.
people go. The venue, they've upgraded the venue. It's outstanding. And, kudos and hats off to Glenn Sather, because you know what? Everybody's this, that, everybody's got something to say. And, the old saying, when you're losing, everyone's trying to sink. When the ship's sinking, everyone's trying to jump off. And then all of a sudden now they're riding a wave, and, oh, Glenn, oh, this, oh, that. And you know what? The guy's been steady, and he's been trying to build a winner. And now they're one step away.
Oh, they're very close. Let's get to football. Colin Kaepernick just signed a big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal. He's number 2 behind Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers still the highest paid player. Have you met Colin, and what do you think about his game?
I've gotten to meet him, and in brief, short, but he's a young guy that has legs. So I think Steve Young came out the other day and said that he would rather watch Colin Kaepernick follow progression instead of always bailing and using his athleticism to get him down the field. So I think that's where maybe he's got to get in a little bit more in tune with that. But, 3 NFC championship games, I mean, granted, he's got the defense behind him and he's got some talent. So, but I think that's where he might be lacking a little bit.
Well, is that today's NFL? I mean, you look at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck is the prototype quarterback, the one the NFL has always said that's the kind of guy you have to have. Then you get Colin, Russell Wilson. So, is there a changing of the guard in the NFL of what a starting quarterback is?
Yeah, but then you got to remember, everything is like going up to the counter and ordering food. You're going to order what you want. So the GMs and the head coaches are going to say, "Hey, I want him," or "I want him," and it's kind of like what's available is the other thing.
Well, what's available, right? Because there's not much, but he was taken in the second round. I mean, Coach Harbaugh definitely saw something, and Coach Harbaugh coached Luck at Stanford, and now he went for Collins. So, I mean, I happen to like his game. I think it's exciting, and that's what the NFL is today. You never know what's going to happen on every play with him compared to a drop-back quarterback.
Yeah, he gets out there and he creates. He creates and makes magic happen. It's some of the times, unfortunately, the other 10 that are on the field with him aren't doing what he's doing. And, obviously it's a team game, but, he needs help. So I think it's funny with the 75 receivers that they have in camp this year, they seem to keep bringing them in. I was joking around with Eric Mangini last week. I'm like, you've got 15 starters at wide receiver. What are you going to do with them? And it's interesting because you have so many different, now you have I can't think of his name, Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson
from
yeah.
Buffalo is there
Yeah.
now. And you've got Bolden and you got Crabtree. So all those different personalities in one room makes for an interesting.
Well, to talk about the wide receiver group, the wide receivers make quarterbacks. I mean, listen, you could be a great quarterback, but, to me, the drops and the guys who run the routes, I mean, I look over in Detroit with Matthew Stafford. Is Stafford that good, or does Calvin Johnson, Megatron, make him that much better than he is? Because he has a lot of interceptions.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's got a strong arm. But you notice that Megatron does need the other receiver.
Right.
Because even he goes down, and he went down, and then they try to rely on a running game, and then people just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to put 8 and 9 in the box to stop the run, Mr. Reggie Bush, and let's have Stafford beat us.
And then Stafford does, with Calvin, just put it up there. I mean, he comes down with the ball most times than not.
It's like a rebound. He just goes up and...
like an offensive rebound, and he gets it.
Yeah.
To move a little bit on to another topic, let's talk about the game last night, the NBA. Mm-hmm. And normally I wouldn't have talked about it today. It's for Game 1, NBA Finals. Whoever won really didn't matter. But, again, as Richard, as you and I both know in sports, things happen. And look what happened last night. First thing is the air conditioning goes. What? This is
I can only imagine what that management group must have went through last night, meaning the arena. I'm sure somebody lit someone up and said, none of you guys are going home until this AC is fixed.
And, unfortunately, they didn't fix it till not hopefully, but it was after the game.
Yeah, after the game,
they had the sideline reporter, Doris Burke, with a thermometer. It was over 90 degrees in the stadium. Yeah. I mean, how do you play in that weather? NBA guys, I mean, listen, NFL guys play with it. It depends. Outdoor stadium, baseball play, but NBA playing in that, if that was a hockey game, they couldn't have played.
No, the ice would have definitely melted and there wouldn't have been no game. So.
And what I don't like, but this is the world we live in, Rich, with everything going on, is there are actually people killing LeBron. I mean, you really think LeBron did not want to play? Do you really think LeBron's coming out from cramps? Now, listen, you played offensive lineman in college. You're a big guy. Cramps. I mean, if you ever get them, you ever see a teammate with cramps and what that does to them?
Yeah, it totally paralyzes you, because especially if you get it in the leg or the hip or the calf, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you have to really just hit the ground and kind of iron it out, and then you need really like an IV. I mean, I think right now what LeBron just did was show that he's human. Right. I mean, because he's like Superman and he does everything and he wins, but last night he obviously couldn't go. So, I mean, right now I think Gatorade and Body Armor are probably lining up to get him as a spokesperson, to say, hey, you need to drink this so you won't cramp up.
Why, he's not their spokesperson already? You can't bring Sprite on the sideline?
I don't even know exactly. But, yeah, those two companies are using that thing all day and all night long right now.
Because you saw him at the other end of the court after he scored, and, what I was surprised was knowing, like, I saw one of his teammates run over to him, but no one ran up to him to, like, help him, off the court. He could not walk.
I think guys were really taken back by seeing him be down.
I just, how can people go against what he did, Rich? I just don't get that.
I don't know either. And I saw some comments that one guy said this and then that. I mean, the guy, he can't run.
Yeah, that guy, like any athlete, no one's pulling themselves out of the game.
Especially a championship game.
Especially a championship game, right. Regular season game, you're right. Good point. It's not that big of a deal. Game 1 of one of the other players. NBA Finals, with everybody watching. LeBron James, I don't think so. I don't get why everyone, the haters out there, and I don't get that at all.
Either, but.
One other thing also I want to get off my chest is how great Masahiro Tanaka is. I mean, Rich, this guy is dominating.
What did you give up one run? I was watching a highlight. One highlight, and they were like, oh, okay, well, this guy hit him for a run or whatever, and then that was all you heard, and it was just K. 9-1,
2.02 ERA. Let me tell you something. This guy could be one of the first guys, and I know it's early, can win the Cy Young, can win the MVP and win the Rookie of the Year in the same year. I mean, it is very possible the way he's going.
Yeah, he's a magician up there because he's just throwing all different balls and throwing heat, and God bless him.
Right now, he is like unhittable. Rich Big Daddy Salgado, let's talk a little bit about the Golf Classic. I'm honored and really privileged that you put me on your board. I really am. Tell us about the event, who's going to be there, who we're honoring, daytime. Give us everything.
Well, we're on Monday, June 23rd at
Coming up.
Ohika Castle. Yep, I was there all day today having meetings, and we've got two great honorees. We're honoring Bruce Ratner and also Don Voltaggio.
Bruce Ratner,
And he used to own the Nets.
something in Brooklyn?
Yeah, he still owns the Barclays
Barclays Center, something
Yeah,
like that.
something
You know,
like
that little arena.
And also Don Voltaggio from Arizona Iced Tea or Arizona Beverages. And I'm glad to announce that they will make sure that everyone is well hydrated.
Cramps at
no
our
one's getting
event.
cramps, and everyone will have plenty of water, iced tea, and all these other different juices. And then as far as celebrities, we're not letting it out yet, but I will tell you that we do have a couple Hall of Famers coming, and the announcement will come next week.
Well,
And-
come on. You can't
All right,
announce it
ready?
on Sports Biz with LD. Come on, buddy.
I'll give you a few. Marshall Falk will be there.
Marshall Falk. Wow.
So-
He's on the NFL Network now,
NFL
right?
Network. Tiki Barber is coming back
Love
again.
Tiki. Was there last year, right?
We
Love
got
Tiki.
Sean O'Hara, who's a first-timer coming.
Sean O'Hara also now on the NFL Network, right?
And we've got actress and Smithtown native Melissa Joan Hart.
Ooh, I like Melissa Joan Hart.
Sabrina.
We need some women at the
That's
event.
right,
Can't
that's
say no
right.
to the women.
Sabrina is coming in, bewitched herself.
Now, also, let's talk about this. Besides that, let me show everybody. I mean, a little too big for me. Look at the size of this. Big Daddy Youth Football Camp. Tell me a little bit about that, Rich.
Me and a couple guys from the neighborhood, George Cosmatis, Jim Jackman, and Joe Regano, we all decided to have a football camp in our neighborhood. So I said, okay, let's do it. And we've got some great sponsors. And Larry, we will have to get you fitted for the right size.
Yeah, the right size. It's a little too
that's
big
like
for
an
me, right?
apron or a blanket on you. So, so that's July 7th through the 10th. And we've got some great sponsors there as well. We have, of course, we're going to make sure all the linemen get well fed. So we have Umberto's being as one of our sponsors. And Ottamanelli's Burger is going to be there as well. And Woodside, they're coming all the way over to
Love it.
Long Island here. And make sure we get some cheeseburgers out there. You know, the
So we
prototypical.
playing football or we eating?
Yeah,
What
what
do
we're
we
going to
doing?
do, we're going to make sure everybody's well fed and hydrated. And then Arizona, of course, is going to be involved with making sure that all the kids are hydrated with water and keep the sugar drinks down a little bit. And we're excited for that. And we got the shirts done in orange and blue to represent Nassau County, where
Yep.
we're all proud to be from. And I think it's a great way to give back. We're going to have some special guests, some coaches from college. I'm working on an NFL coach, and I'm working on a head college coach. And then we'll have some of my friends are coming in to ex-NFL players. Neil O'Donnell is going to have a quarterback camp one day, a clinic. I got Howard Cross is coming across the river
Great tight
from the
end of the
Giants. And we got a couple other guys that we'll announce soon. And it's just, hey, look, I'm blessed and I'm in a fortunate position. And, people know that if I put my name on it, I want to make sure that it's first class. And I don't want anybody complaining that something wasn't done correctly because I care.
Listen, that's why your events at Ohika Castle and all your good events. Just tell me a couple of the sponsors that we have at Ohika Castle that day, because you got some big names.
We got some big names. We've got Delta Airlines is involved.
Delta is right. That's
I forget the song, but
yeah, something like that.
I know that when you know your account number by heart, you definitely fly too much. So
My wife knows our checking account and credit card numbers. The same kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. We got Tiffany and Company.
I've heard of them. The Blue Box.
We got Saks Fifth Avenue. And
We had a Super
we've
Bowl
got-
event there.
Yep, we've got Beats by Dr. Dre, and we have Arizona Iced Tea, and we have local mega giant here, as well as Arizona, is Hanes Celestial is back again,
great.
CEO Erwin Simon, and we're still working on a few others. And we have Copa de Vino, which is a new wine
that's new,
company,
yeah.
new. And they were there today making a presentation, and we brought them on board, and we had a whole day of making sure everything's ready to go. We are way ahead than last year. I will tell you that.
Well, listen,
now,
you get better and better every year.
Now we're just ready to make sure that we let the whole world know that we have tickets available still. And there is no guest list, so ticket, you get in. No ticket, you ain't getting in. And Gary Milius has been generous with us.
Great guy. Love Gary over at
and God bless him. He's alive, and he's calling the shots. And they even brought in a security team to make sure that if you're supposed to be there, you're there, and no one gets hassled. And we're going to have a great night and fun and raise some money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and also for the Health Humanitarian Aid Foundation, which is a group that builds hospitals and schools in Ghana.
Wow, that is
So
great.
you got your official St. Jude's pin there.
Right here.
I got mine on right here.
And some cufflinks, I guess.
And some cufflinks, yeah. I want to make sure, they wanted to make sure that all the board members are styling. So
I like that. So I'm a board member, so I'll be styling
you'll
that
be
day.
styling.
And also, Sports Biz with LD will be there.
Absolutely.
We'll be there on a red carpet interviewing people and, getting our photo taken with Rich and all the other big celebrities that'll be there. And Rich, just tell me a little about this spiked,
This is very cool. This is something that I've been holding on to, but this year I'm going to put it up as one of the auction items. It is a shoe that was donated by Jason Babin, a Pro Bowl defensive end from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's now in Jacksonville. And when he was in Philly, he had everyone on the team sign it. And a mutual friend of ours, Amanda Mitchell, who works with him, asked me, and she sent this over. And, it's a great piece. And selfishly, I held on to it for a while. And, obviously the goal is to raise money for kids. So whatever we can do to
And,
get
being
for the-
pink, it was done in October.
Yeah, because
right?
it was breast cancer awareness, so
Yes.
that's why it was done in this color shoe. And Under Armour's a sponsor, and they're dear friends of mine there, Kevin Plank, and we're gonna put it out there and see what kind of money
I
we
think
get.
we'll get a lot of money on that. I want to just talk about before we go the passing of Don Zimmer. I mean, I met Don a few times, interviewed Don years ago, and people don't realize 66 years he spent in Major League Baseball. Won a World Series with Jackie Robinson. A matter of fact, Richard, he was there for the 3 perfect games in Yankee history. Imagine that. He was on the Dodgers with the Don Larson. He was on the bench with the Yankees for David Cones. And
Hi, I'm Bob Nystrom.
he was on the most winningest team ever, which was the '98 Yankees. He was on the most losingest, is that a word? Team with the Mets in '62. Managed the Red Sox with the Carlton Fisk home run. Managed the Red Sox with the Bucky Dent home run. I mean, just a phenomenal life that he lived. And I'll tell you, meeting him and hearing some stories from him, just a phenomenal guy. If we all had just a piece of the life that he lived, what a life we would have had. I want to thank my buddy, Rich Big Daddy Salgado, the golf outing. Be there. What's the website?
www.BigDaddyGolfClassic.com.
Tickets are on sale for the dinner. The golf is sold out. I want to thank the Daily Blue because without them, we would not be seen. I want to thank the Rampart Group as a sponsor because without them, probably wouldn't be on the air, but Corinne probably would still let me on. But, it is about sponsors. Got to have them. And, of course, I want to thank everybody here again, like I said, at the Daily Blue. SportsBizWithLD.com on the website. SportsBizWithLD.com on that if you want to tweet me. Facebook, SportsBizWithLD. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching. All good. We'll see you next week. I'm Larry Davis.